Hi guys, Office Bloke Dave here. I am recording this on a ridiculously hot, humid, sweaty Monday night at midnight. It's my last reaction of the night. Thank God. I'm enjoying it, but I'm so hot and so sweaty and these lights are right in my face. It's crazy. But yeah, that's my problem, not yours. You don't need to worry about that. I'm going to do 10 infamous crimes committed by 90s rock stars, which I'm kind of very curious about. I'm interested to see who's going to be on the list and what they've done. Before we get into it, I've got merch. I've got a Patreon page. There's a link below. To follow me on Instagram. That's the best way to get in touch, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, simple as that. Make sure you're subscribed if you enjoy the content. Right, let's do it. 10 infamous crimes committed by 90s rock stars. Let's go for it.
How many people here ever woke up one morning and just decided it wasn't one of those days?
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're looking at 10 infamous crimes committed by 90s rock stars.
The Black Circle was a name invented by Vikernes. That was his gathering of a few young people who would at the end commit pretty serious crimes.
For this list, we'll be considering prominent rockers of the 90s who were implicated in egregious and shocking crimes. Which of these incidents shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. Liam Gallagher, Oasis.
It's either drugs or it's fighting. I'm pretty sure one of them was found with a load of cocaine at one point. Or just street fighting his bro.
If you're at all familiar with Oasis, you're well aware the brothers that form the band are often a step away from beating each other to a bloody pulp. However, Noel isn't the only one who faced Liam's wrath. While on tour in Australia in March of 1998, Liam didn't take kindly to a fan named Benjamin Jones who tried to get a photo with the British rocker. According to the police report, Gallagher responded by punching and headbutting the fan, which resulted in a broken nose. Due to the seriousness of the injury, Liam faced up to 10 years in prison for his actions, but the charges were eventually dropped, with Jones settling with the Oasis singer out of court. Courtney Love, Hole, Kurt Cobain.
Courtney Love? What could she have done wrong? Interesting. Think she placed a shotgun next to someone or...
And Courtney Love are defining figures from the era of grunge music, and their bands Nirvana and Hole, respectively, are about as iconic as you can get. These groups broke the mold of 90s rock by touching on complex and dark subject matter, including gender issues and body image. Unfortunately, both suffered from substance use disorder, and it's here where many of Love's legal issues began. After an overdose in 1994, Love was charged with possession of a controlled substance and paraphernalia. Only 24 hours later, Cobain would be found dead at their Seattle home. Sadly, this was just the start of Love's legal troubles, who has since faced charges of assaults, disorderly conduct, and reckless endangerment. Jimmy Chamberlain, the Smashing Pumpkins. Going from one iconic rock band to the next, the Smashing Pumpkins were tremendously influential in the realm of alternative rock, but were also playing with fire as recreational opiate users. While touring the U.S. in 1996, an overdose led to the death of Pumpkins keyboardist Jonathan Melvoin. Jimmy Chamberlain, the band's drummer, and Melvoin were in a separate hotel to the rest of the band, and after both went unconscious under the influence of illegal substances, Chamberlain would wake up hours later to find his friend and bandmate unresponsive. Because Chamberlain was in the presence of Melvoin at the time of his overdose, the drummer was charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance, but later reached a plea deal over the incident. Trip Eisen.
That's crazy to think that, and I'm not getting into the ethics of drug use and laws and all that sort of stuff, but it could have been him that died, and the fact that he sort of came to and the other one had overdosed. I suppose he still is in possession of, a narcotic yeah, you'd think if someone's in that sort of state and the bandmate and friend has just died, maybe the cops would have a tiny bit of compassion in that situation, though.
Static X. The crimes committed by this former Static X member are nothing short of horrific. Static X, if you're not aware, is a heavy metal band that rose to fame during the new metal craze of the 90s. Fast forward to 2005, when the band's main guitarist Trip Eisen is facing a sex scandal involving two different minors, and he is promptly booted from the band. The band's swift action towards Eisen was certainly the right move, and it was only the beginning of Eisen's downfall. He would do time in prison for his actions, for both the original charges and a parole violation.
I think I remember that.
Scott Weiland, Stone Temple Pilots.
I used to love a bit of Static X. But yeah, that's one of those that I think I knew about at the time, and then years have gone by, so not thought about it for a long time.
Once the lead singer of Stone Temple Pilots, Weiland's one-of-a-kind vocal delivery and charismatic stage presence made him part of the elite class of 90s rock front list. However, Scott Weiland's life and legal history is sadly intertwined with substance use disorder. Having been arrested for buying illegal drugs in 1995, he would soon face charges of domestic violence and DUI. Throughout all this, the singer was making his mark on gold, platinum, and multi-platinum albums with Stone Temple Pilots, but was eventually booted from the band. That didn't stop him from continuing on with Velvet Revolver for several years before the vocalist's unfortunate death from an overdose in 2015. Scott Stapp, Creed. While not a Christian band, Creed's music does contain some religious and moral messages, which made it all the more surprising that the band's lead singer Scott Stapp was at one time under the eye of the United States Secret Service because he threatened to assassinate Barack Obama. This all appeared to be a psychiatric episode of some kind, wherein the My Sacrifice singer was apparently riding a bicycle around his neighborhood carrying hundreds of CIA documents and other paraphernalia. While far from being his first run-in with the law, the threat probably was not 100% genuine considering Stapp's mental state at the time.
Too much drugs, too much time spent on the internet reading conspiracy theories, and then suddenly the CIA are coming for you because you're in possession of documents you've downloaded off Reddit or somewhere. I've known people go that exact same way. As soon as people say to you, I've got documents that prove whatever, and you say to them, where did you get them from? Internet. It's like, yeah, you're chatting shit, mate. Chatting shit. Someone told me that with Flat Earth once, that they've got documents that they got off the internet, off forums, and I'm like, just shut up. Just lay off the drugs. It's obviously some sort of psychotic break.
Marilyn Manson. The severe allegations of abuse made against Marilyn Manson in 2021 by actor Evan Rachel Wood and many others are disturbing, to say the absolute least. But that's just the latest string of controversies the industrial musician finds himself in. Back in 2001, he was charged with criminal sexual assault of a security guard. This case was eventually dropped, but it was a sign of many more things to come.
Did he throw a dildo at him or something? That rings a bell in some bizarre way. I think there was more. Or did he hump him or something? Oh God, I can't remember. But I think it was something that was like, it's not as serious as it sounds.
As
maybe wrong though.
Of writing, Manson faces 5 lawsuits alleging abuse in addition to the aforementioned Wood case. While the results of these remain to be seen, Manson was dropped by his record label and talent agency in 2022, making the career he once had basically over. Anthony Kiedis, Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's never fun to learn that some of your favorite artists are guilty of downright deplorable acts. Red Hot Chili Peppers were about as big as you could get in the 90s and onward, and songs like Californication epitomize 90s culture. But not long after that song's release in 1999, lead singer Anthony Kiedis published a memoir where he detailed, among other things, a sexual relationship with a young woman who Kiedis learned was a minor at the time. It was a shocking admission of guilt. Unsurprisingly, Kiedis soon after asked members of his family not to read the book. Fred Durst,
Jesus.
Limp Bizkit.
I looked around and I had never seen that many people before.
In 2021, a pair of documentary series about the Woodstock 1999 Music Festival and subsequent riot arrived on streaming platforms, with one red-capped figure featured prominently in both: Limp Bizkit lead singer Fred Durst.
It's just one of those days!
While it's clear that his break-stuff chants had an effect on the crowds, Durst didn't get charged with any crimes at the time, as the festival was a giant organizational failure. But it was characteristic of the new metal singer who in 1999 kicked a security guard in the head and was arrested after the show. He also ran down a few people in his car in LA in October of 2006. It's surprising he's never been sent to an anger management class.
I've been at festivals that have rioted before in the early 2000s, and not to the scale of Woodstock, but people were setting fire to big diesel generators. There was running battles with the police, like riot police in a big line. I drunkenly stumbled, like I got split up from all my friends. And I was just kind of staggering around, absolutely smashed. I was walking through the crowds and suddenly there was no one. And I was like, this is weird. It's like entering no man's land. And I looked up just as loads of cops with shields started rushing everyone. And I was stood in the middle of it. But all the cops must have seen that I wasn't a threat. Like, I didn't know what was going on. And they just all parted around me and then started clashing with the people behind me. It's absolute carnage. But all that Woodstock stuff, like people were getting... There was loads more to it, wasn't there? People were getting ridiculously ripped off with food, drinks. I think the facilities weren't up to scratch. There's usually loads of factors like that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Varg Vikernes, Burzum and Mayhem. While the crimes of the rock stars mentioned here are certainly shocking, if there were one case that was truly infamous, it would be that of Varg Vikernes.
I told them this is nothing to do with Satanism, and they never paid any attention to what I said.
Church burnings, wasn't it? Or was it Varg that killed... I'm going to watch it.
Vikernes fronted up several Norwegian black metal acts in the 90s, most notably Burzum. Before that, though, he was part of another group called Mayhem. When Mayhem's lead singer suddenly took his own life in 1991, the guitar player of the band, who went by the name Euronymous, exploited this sad turn of events, using it to enhance the band's macabre image. More drama ensued, leading to the fatal stabbing of Euronymous in 1993 by Vikernes, who claimed the killing was in self-defense.
Claims it was in self-defense, but I'm sure he stabbed him like 150 times or something ridiculous. There's a short documentary on it that I'm going to react to at some point that breaks down the whole Mayhem, Burzum, all that craziness. Yeah, interesting. There's a couple on there that I knew. There's a couple I didn't. I think it's absolutely amazing that a lot more rock stars from the 70s, 80s and 90s aren't getting arrested and charged for activities with young people, put it that way, because it was just allegedly it was rife back then. But when they say young, it's like 16, 17, 18, like girls going to concerts throwing themselves at these rock stars, and they're just not justifying it, by the way, but they're just like partying, drugged up, drinked up rock stars. Yeah, there's a few. I've heard like whisperings of a few that are potentially going to get in trouble over the next couple of years, but who knows how true it all is. Anyway, some interesting stuff on that one. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.